If you want to fight, you want to send a contract, send one to me. I will take a few weeks break from living my retired life to kick the living out of a goofy, entitled dickhead like you. You know my name, Andrew Tate. Google it if you want to know more. Any day, anytime, let's.
Andrew Tate has ignited a firestorm on the internet with a direct and bold challenge to Jake Paul, further shaking up the already buzzing combat sports scene. In a viral video, Tate did not hold back, directly calling out Paul in his signature intense style. This challenge comes amid Jake Paul's ongoing attempts to cement himself as a dominant force in the boxing world, with his recent fight against Mike Tyson sparking heated discussions. Fans packed the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for the much-anticipated showdown, which was streamed live on Netflix. While the night promised chaos, it delivered more than expected, though perhaps not in the way Tyson's supporters had hoped. After the fight, Tyson reflected on the experience with his usual humility and resilience. When asked about his feelings post-match, Tyson simply said, "Absolutely happy." His comments showed no bitterness or regret, and he quickly shifted to praise Jake Paul's preparation and determination. Tyson acknowledged, "I knew he was a good fighter. I knew he was prepared. I came to fight." These words showcased Tyson's respect for Paul, recognizing the younger fighter's readiness, even as Tyson remained focused on his own journey. Tyson also shared his personal perspective, emphasizing that the fight wasn't about proving anything to anyone but to himself. "I didn't prove nothing to anybody, just to myself. I'm not one of those guys that looks to please the world. I'm just happy with what I can do," he stated. These words reflected the mindset of a seasoned legend who fights for personal growth rather than public approval. When asked about the knee brace he wore during the fight, Tyson didn't shy away from discussing it. "Yeah, but I can't use that as an excuse because if I did, I wouldn't be in here," he admitted. Despite dealing with a physical setback, Tyson's willingness to step into the ring and deliver a performance reaffirmed his legacy as a fighter who never shies away from challenges, regardless of the obstacles in his way. Jake Paul, on the other hand, expressed admiration for Tyson in an emotional post-fight speech. Addressing the crowd, Paul said, "First and foremost, Mike Tyson, it's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike, bro. He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it. The G08, he's the G08." Paul's words were filled with respect as he referred to Tyson as the toughest, baddest man on the planet, admitting that the fight was every bit as tough as he had anticipated. His emotional address reflected a more humble side of the usually brash fighter, showing appreciation for the opportunity to face a true boxing icon. As the night wrapped up, the mutual respect between Tyson and Paul stood out, offering a rare moment of camaraderie in the often chaotic world of boxing. While this exchange signaled a rare show of respect between two fighters from different generations, the drama wasn't over. Gervonta "Tank" Davis decided to stir things up further, adding a fresh twist to Jake Paul's already eventful journey in the boxing world. Davis didn't hold back, sending a clear warning to Paul with a fiery statement. "One more thing. I'ma beat the brakes off Jake when I catch him. Uppercut, jab, jab, left hook, uppercut, hook. Watch." The bold comment immediately caught the attention of fans, sparking debates over whether Davis was serious about stepping into the ring with Paul. Not one to shy away from a war of words, Jake Paul clapped back with his trademark humor and confidence. Responding to Davis, Paul said, "Tank Davis is just angry he's not tall enough to ride the roller coaster at Disney World. I'm sorry, little buddy. I know it's not fair." The quick-witted response instantly went viral, with fans split between cheering Paul's comeback and defending Davis's reputation as one of the fiercest fighters in the sport. The drama didn't stop there, though. Conor McGregor, never one to stay silent for long, weighed in after the fight with a now-deleted tweet that caught everyone's attention. In his tweet, McGregor wrote, "They are eyeing Pritchard Cullen for next opponent," before making another comment on X about Mike Tyson, calling him God's creation and stating, "Solid but nipples like cigars, knockout power. Mike is truly God's creation. God bless Iron Mike." While the comment was quickly deleted, fans were quick to screenshot and share it, keeping the conversation alive. Jake Paul, however, wasn't amused by McGregor's cryptic praise for Tyson and responded on social media. Paul called McGregor out directly, saying, "Dear Conor, I know you told my team you would fight me at 170 pounds. Never happening. But let's run it in MMA. No weight class, just like how it used to be done. But you won't even." In the post-fight press conference, Jake Paul confidently addressed the idea of facing Conor McGregor, dismissing it entirely. He argued that McGregor's contractual obligations and lack of control over his career would prevent him from ever stepping into the ring with him. Paul didn't hold back, claiming McGregor knew better than to take on such a challenge. His statement carried his signature mix of swagger and provocation, aiming to both poke fun at McGregor and solidify his own reputation as someone unafraid to call out the biggest names in combat sports. Jake Paul didn't stop at contractual jabs. He also took shots at McGregor's performance against Nate Diaz, stating, "Look at him go toe-to-toe with Nate Diaz. It was easy work for me. That was like a Monday sparring session." Paul's words were clearly intended to discredit McGregor's skills while highlighting his own dominance, suggesting that McGregor would never take him on because of the risk of losing. The escalating tension between Paul and seasoned names like McGregor and Davis added even more drama to his already controversial career. From fiery exchanges to bold claims, Paul has consistently kept himself at the center of boxing conversations, drawing both criticism and attention in equal measure. But amid the chaos, one challenge stands out among the rest: Andrew Tate's bold and unapologetic call-out. Tate's challenge wasn't just another publicity stunt, it was personal. After taking time to address other critics and rivals, Tate turned his attention to Jake Paul, making it clear that he sees Paul not as a fighter, but as a symbol of everything wrong with the modern boxing world. Tate mocked Paul's rise to fame, dismissing it as a spectacle that focuses more on fame than skill. He argued that Paul's victories were carefully curated, designed to create an image of success, rather than showcase genuine competition. Tate's sharp critique of Paul's quick rise to fame was aimed directly at the very foundation of Paul's success. He compared Paul's YouTube stardom to a fantasy that would never survive in the true world of combat sports. Tate confidently stated that facing him would expose the stark difference between entertainment and real fighting skill. For Tate, this challenge wasn't just about taking on Paul for the sake of a fight. It was about confronting the larger issues within the world of boxing today, where spectacle sometimes trumps substance.
Will never make the money you've made who would kick the living fuck out of you. This is the hardest sport in the world, and people dedicate their lives to this, and most of them never get a payday. It never pays off for the majority of fighters, all of which would...
Tate didn't stop there. He shifted the focus to the fighters who have dedicated their entire lives to the sport, calling out the stark disparity between their sacrifices and Jake Paul's celebrity status. In a scathing reality check, Tate contrasted Paul's cushioned success with the struggles faced by true fighters who pour their hearts and souls into their craft. He emphasized that most fighters, despite being far more skilled, never see the kind of payday that Paul has enjoyed. These fighters train relentlessly, risking everything for a sport that rarely rewards them as it should. Tate made it clear that Paul's fame is a far cry from the grit, determination, and sacrifice required in the real world of combat sport.
Jake Paul, it's clear to me you are desperate for a reality check. You know what, if I made my money impressing 4-year-olds on YouTube and managed to somehow become a multimillionaire from it, I'd probably live in a dream world.
If Jake Paul needed more motivation, Andrew Tate raised the stakes with a daring financial challenge. While acknowledging he didn't possess Paul's vast fortune, Tate was willing to put his own money on the line to prove a point. He offered a $3 million bet, daring Paul to match it for a winner-takes-all fight. This bold move demonstrated Tate's unwavering confidence in his abilities, even after years away from the ring. But this challenge wasn't just about money. It was about pride, respect, and shutting down what Tate perceives as a spectacle rather than a true sport. For Tate, it was an opportunity to remind the world of the stark contrast between real fighters and entertainers.
I don't have $50 million to bet with you, but I do have $3 million to bet with you. So this is your offer. $3 million. You put 3, I put 3.
Tate didn't hold back, mockingly referencing his own retirement while taking a direct shot at Jake Paul's boxing credentials. He made it clear that, although he might not be an active fighter, his skills and experience still make him a formidable opponent. Tate downplayed his chances, presenting himself as a retired man enjoying life. But his words carried a sharp edge. He turned what were supposed to be his disadvantages into a taunt, daring Paul to step into the ring. The message was clear. Even after years away from the sport, Tate believed he still had what it took to humble Paul. This wasn't just a challenge. It was a calculated jab at Paul's pride and
Fight you any day of the fucking week. Don't worry about Conor McGregor fucking you up. Don't worry about Floyd Mayweather fucking you up. You only want to lose to them so you can say, well, I lost to Conor McGregor. Why don't you lose to an old man?
Tate didn't hold back. mocking Paul's strategy of chasing high-profile legends for fights. He called out Paul for avoiding real challenges, suggesting that losing to him would be far less glamorous than losing to the likes of Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor. Tate's words highlighted the perceived emptiness of Paul's approach, emphasizing that facing him would expose Paul's avoidance of tougher, more legitimate opponents.
Boxer, you're 2-0 in boxing. I'm 0-0 in boxing. I've never even fought boxing. I'm a retired old man. 5 years I've been sitting around smoking cigars and fucking bitches, which are better looking than the fucking girl you're advertising.
Andrew Tate didn't hold back as he launched into a scathing critique of Jake Paul's fame, drawing a sharp distinction between the world of online entertainment, Paul's domain, and the brutal reality of combat sports. Tate's words emphasized the sacrifices and dedication of real fighters, setting a stark contrast to Paul's celebrity-driven success. "I live in the real world, Jake. There are a whole bunch of fighters out here living in the real world, men who are dangerous and have dedicated their lives to this sport," Tate stated. He then took his critique to the next level, calling Paul the ultimate example of entertainment overshadowing true skill and hard work. Tate made it clear that Paul's fame does not equate to respect in the world of professional fighting. His biting words questioned not only Paul's legitimacy, but also the value of his fortune, which Tate attributed to spectacle rather than substance. "I don't have a fraction of the money you have because you managed to become an internet sensation," he remarked. Tate's challenge to Jake Paul has refocused the conversation on what it truly means to be a fighter. From Tyson's humble reflections to Davis's bold threats and Tate's sharp words, Jake Paul remains at the center of the boxing world. However, Tate's direct call-out has made things personal. His claims that Paul's fame is built on entertainment, not skill, and his $3 million bet to back up his challenge have fans buzzing with anticipation. The big question now is whether Jake Paul will accept Tate's challenge or stick to his usual, carefully chosen fights. Fans are eager to see what happens next, whether this feud will lead to an actual fight or just more heated exchanges online. What do you think? Will Jake Paul step into the ring with Andrew Tate, or will this challenge go unanswered? Share your thoughts in the comments below.